Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of A Slice of Fried Gold. My name's Paddy.
And I'm Ben.
If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you like that video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. And if you are listening to us on Spotify, please do give us a 5-star review. With that all being said, Ben, how the devil are you?
I'm good. I'm just going to focus on this speed button for a second.
Focusing complete.
Oh, well, I didn't want to hit it too hard.
Way.
That means perfectly into what I wanted to talk about is...
Oh yeah.
Do you ever sort of catch yourself we all know we've got dirty minds. We all have fun with said dirty minds.
Oh yes.
But do you ever catch yourself like, oh my god, this is like, I need to calm this shit down?
Oh yeah. Your mind starts wandering into the depths of dirtiness.
I mean, it wasn't that, but so of course, naturally, we have a customer who is they're just a transporter. They transport goods from the mainland Europe into the UK.
Right.
And of course, when they get a new customer, they always sort of come to us with questions. And we had a question yesterday. And it was a boring question. They were talking about duty and VAT and all boring things.
All the fun things.
All the fun things.
Yeah.
But when I looked at the documents, that's when my mind went the wrong way.
Oh dear.
Because they were bringing in 36,000 boxes of KY jelly.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That was one hell of a diddy party.
Yeah. And my mind, being my mind, just went, KY jelly, there's loads better lubes out there.
Oh god.
And then I was like, I so wanted to just type that back to them, going, KY jelly, really? KY? Oh, come with me.
Technology.
Come with me. And you'll be in a world of pure, slippery lubrification. But then I was like, hang on a minute, no, this is medical shit.
Okay.
NHS doesn't care about, quality. NHS just uses KY jelly, they don't care.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and it was just like, oh my god, I need to calm down right now because I'm fucking at work thinking about different kinds of lubes and which one works better. And then it's like, I can't tell them which one works better because then they have to ask the question, why? Or how do I know?
Yeah, that's not an email chain you need.
Yeah. But it was just that kind of, KY jelly, really?
Yeah.
Really? KY jelly? That's the one you want to go for? Honestly.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But it just threw me. And then also now it's like, I know where there's going to be a truck of 36,000 packets of KY jelly. There's sometimes I'm so tempted to message you, but one, we're not lawbreakers, we're good boys and girls. Well, good boys.
Yep.
And two, you can't drive.
Yep.
So I can't be like, hey, I need you to be at this location at this time. There is a truck of 56 tons of Nutella.
Oh, we'd be there.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd be there for that.
Or, there's a truck of 30 tons of Toblerones.
I will steal a car then.
Or the other one that made me laugh the other day was, in the official wordings, it was powdered pancake mix and high tenacity yarn.
What a weird combination to have on the bar.
But I don't type it out in its full thing. I condense it down because I don't have time to type it all out. Yeah. So I just put pancake mix and yarn, and I looked at it. I was like, if anyone else was to look at this, they would think it's like a trailer for grannies. I've got some pancake mix so the little kids can come around, and I've got some yarn to knit them some gloves and everything. And they're just like, oh my god, if someone else looked at this, they'd be so confused.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they truly would.
But yeah. Other than that, I've had a really quiet week.
Oh!
Because, of course, we all know now, looking to buy a house, looking to save money. Mm-hmm. And so this weekend, I was like, right, we don't spend any money this weekend.
Yep.
Guess what, Paddy?
You spend money?
No. What? Everything, if you want to do anything, it costs money.
Oh, yeah.
And so I literally did nothing. I went out for a walk, because walking's free.
Yes.
But I did nothing.
That's
I didn't buy. And when it was like, did you have a good weekend? What did you do? I'm like, I did nothing. Oh, it sounds amazing. It sounds relaxing. It's like, no, it was boring as hell.
Yeah.
I went to bed at 8:30 on Saturday night.
Oh, I'd love to go to bed at 8:30.
But literally, because I thought I was like, I've been sitting here for hours now, just doing nothing, just watching TV, reading books and everything. It must be 11:15 at night.
Yeah.
Looked at the clock.
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the evening.
Good lord.
I was like, oh my fucking god. Like,
this day ever end?
it's like, this is supposed to be my day off. This is supposed to be relaxing. This is supposed to be enjoyable. I am hating my life right now. Like, I'm contemplating going to work. But yeah, and it's also a frightening thing of, I've got to get used to that because, of course, I'm buying a house by myself.
Yeah.
Where I'm not going to have money for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get very used to my own company.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
What we need to do is start building up the portfolio of video games.
Well, that's the thing, because I've also finished Spider-Man 2.
Oh, have you finished it?
I finished it, so
Right,
I didn't even have video games to play. I was like, oh my god, what do I do?
Just do what I do when I want some fresh air, just swing through New York.
Yes. Paddy, how have you been this week?
Well, Ben, I've had an interesting week, to say the least.
Okay.
So, yesterday...
Did all your troubles seem so far away?
No.
Ah.
No, they walked through the front door.
So now they're here to stay?
They are. I was on the breakfast shift.
Of course,
was,
right.
It was about quarter to 8 in the morning.
Yep.
So this lady and this other guy, I think it was a guy, kind of come through the door, and I thought, well, it's not at the realms of possibility for a two walk-in, at this time in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of came around the bar, and she was kind of looking, and I thought, oh, okay, yeah, definitely. Come around the bar, and then I clocked the guy behind her.
Right.
Now, the guy behind her was wearing, like a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Black shirt with multicoloured butterflies on it.
Right.
A grey pair of boxers, because he wasn't wearing any trousers.
Right.
Black pair of socks with no shoes.
Right.
The lady comes to me and she goes, I've just found this man wandering the streets. Have you got a telephone that we can get him some help? I said, okay, of course. She said, that's wonderful, and proceeded to fucking leave and leave me with the half fucking naked man standing in the middle of the restaurant, Ben. I was like, bitch, please, what the fuck is going on?
That is, because one, we all full fucking well know she had a phone on her.
Oh, God, yeah. Of course she fucking did.
100%.
So she was like, I'm going to do the good deed and find this guy help, but not do it myself and drop it on some poor suspected manager.
Found someone
who hasn't
else.
even had a cup of coffee yet.
She's found someone else and gone, your responsibility.
Yeah, exactly that. So I was like, right, okay. And I only had one person for breakfast that morning that was staying in the hotel, and she only just happened to start eating her cereal.
Brilliant.
And then she's then having to look at a guy that was standing there half naked in the middle of the
down
restaurant.
on a table.
I mean, obviously I was kind of like, right, let's work out the situation.
Yeah.
Here. I didn't want to sit him on a table that had knives and glassware and things like that, because I don't know what his situation is. I don't want him to have implements.
Yes.
I was like, are you okay? What's going on? Why are you have you just come off the bus? Have you just come off the train? Are you
Have you just come off the boats?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, have you just been mugged? Are you okay? Do you need help? And he was like, I don't really know where I am.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh my god, like he's got like special needs or like learning difficulties. He's lost. And I was like, right, well, have you got family? Do you know a telephone number we can call? He was like, no, I don't really remember anything. And I was like, oh my god.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, what we'll do is I'll call the police and we'll try and work something out, okay? Mm-hmm. Call the police, explain the whole situation. The operator at the other end of the guy, he went, well, that was very nice of her just to leave him with you. I was like, yes, it was, mate. That's not what I planned this morning. I have a mountain of paperwork to get through. So, like, I was just like, mate, do you know your name? So we can tell the police your name? And he was like, give me his name. I was like, cool, we're getting somewhere. Like, I was like, do you remember much? Do you know what was going on? And he's just like, I had my staff party last night. And I was like, this motherfucker's drunk.
He's hungover.
He's drunk. He doesn't remember anything. He's still smashed.
Yeah.
And I was just like, cool, do you know anything? Do you remember what was going on? And he kind of was like, I had my staff party And I remember being there, and now I don't. And I'm just kind of like remembering this. I was like, Jesus Christ, this must have been one hell of a staff party.
Yeah.
And then he mentioned a place where he mentioned the place where he was at, who I happen to know the owner of.
Right.
So I contacted him, explaining the situation. He was obviously not up yet. We got to the end of it, and turns out it was the staff party of that pub.
Right.
So I had messaged his employer to basically inform him that his employee was half naked, standing in the middle of our restaurant, and he was going to be late for his shift at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Brilliant.
So eventually, the police managed to get hold of his missus.
Yeah.
And they called me back, and they said, we've got hold of his partner. She's going to be there, and she's going to bring him a change of clothes. She'll be there in half an hour. Cool. Sweet. Half an hour later, this girl comes thundering through the restaurant, face like thunder.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Oh God, yeah. She was just like, I've been worried sick. I've been up all night. I was going to call the emergency services soon. They contacted me. How did they contact me? Where's your trousers? I was just like, and then she looked at me and I said, good morning. And this time I got this dude tea and toast so he could try and sober up a bit.
Please tell me at this point your one guest was just like loving life.
Oh,
and
mate.
like having a full-on meal with a show.
No. By this time, she had already left and gone to work. So I don't think she knows the situation unless everyone... Because obviously, by this time, I was on the group chats or whatever.
Yeah.
Going, I will give you all £100 if you guess what the fuck is going on right now. And nobody knew. And then I went into the kitchen, and the chef didn't even realise what was going on. And then I told him, and he was like... Seriously, there's like a half-naked guy in the restaurant. I was like, yeah, come and have a look. Like, it was the most bizarre thing I've ever happened in my whole career. I've dealt with fights. I've dealt with like medical emergencies. I've dealt with all of that, but I've never dealt with a half-naked drunk man that was still drunk from the night before, and he can't actually remember where he was. It was like peak for me. I'm just like, I don't know when this will be topped.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre.
So, getting back to my thing. One, she definitely had a fucking phone on her. And two, you know full well she's gone to her group of friends.
Oh, yeah.
I've done my good deed of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got my karma points. No, bitch, no, you haven't.
No, you haven't. I have the karma points. I called the police.
You foisted him off on the first person you could find.
Yeah.
Who couldn't leave because you basically jumped on them at their place of work.
Yeah.
Like, because she probably tried to pawn him off on other people in the streets, and they've sort of gone, nothing to do with me. And so she's...
The thing as well is that you can guarantee, and I know this is going to sound sexist, but if it was one of the girls at work, she wouldn't have left.
No.
But because it was me, a male, she would have gone, I've left him with him, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I was like, cheers, love.
This
Thanks.
slightly reminds me...
I am a chicken shit at heart.
Yeah. This slightly reminds me of the time when I was working in the hotel business.
Yes, yeah.
And this 15-year-old girl just rocked up. And we're like, hi, are you checking in? Are your parents in the car park or something? And she went, no. And then just like went and sat in like our little waiting area kind of thing. Anyway, unbeknownst to us, well, we knew about this, but that night, the only way is Essex was filming in that town.
Oh, okay.
The celebrities, of course, were all put up in the nice high-end hotel.
Yeah.
And the whole TV crew was put up in my hotel.
Oh, okay.
So she just sat there and we're like, can we help her? And nope, I'm fine. Anyway, the TV crew were all sitting in our restaurant after we've closed. Like, they said, can we sit and chat because we've got to like go through our editing. And like, yeah, sure, crack on. Yeah. The restaurant was closed. Anyway, one of them comes over to us and goes, oh, is that girl okay? And we're like, well, we don't know where she's come from. She's just appeared. And she's like, and this TV crew were like, she's been following us all day.
Oh, shit.
And we're like, oh my God. It's like, what? And like, she's a big fan of the show and she's followed us around all day long. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to get rid of her? And they're like, well, we don't.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do anyway. So we sort of go back to her and we're like, hey, like, are you all right? And she's like, yeah, I don't know where to stay. I was like, okay, where do you live? She's like, London.
Oh my God.
For people who don't know, this hotel was in Bury St Edmunds, which is a good 90 miles away from London.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you have a phone? Can we call your parents?
Yeah.
To see if they can put you up in the hotel for the night?
Yeah.
She gave us her dad's number.
Yeah.
And and it was like, hey, your daughter just turned up at our hotel.
Yeah.
Do you want to pay for a room? And he was like, no, I'm not. And she's like, firstly, she's not told us where she skipped school.
Oh my god.
She's not told them where she had been all day.
Yeah.
And then, like, of course, once again, it's like you with your lady.
Yeah.
So they're hearing about it from us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, just call the police, they'll drive her back to London. And I was like, the police aren't a taxi service.
Yeah.
No, just call the police, and then if they say no, call the ambulance, they'll drive her back to London. I was like, once again,
They are not.
ambulance are not a taxi service.
Yeah.
Mates, you need to either pay for her to have a room and then pay for her to have a train to get home tomorrow,
Yeah.
or
Pay for a taxi yourself.
pay for a taxi yourself. No, just call the ambulance, Tell them she's got mental health issues. I was like, does she have mental health issues? Yeah, she's got mental health issues.
That's bollocks.
Of course it's bollocks. But of course, the moment you call 999 or 111 and say the words mental health,
Yeah, they have to.
boom, they send out the cavalry. So of course, naturally, the paramedics come charging.
Yeah.
They look her over. They're like, yeah, she's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with her. She's completely compass mentis. She knows what she's done. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And they're like, so we're not taking her.
Yeah.
They even speak to the dad, and the dad's like, why aren't you driving her back?
Yeah. Because there's nothing fucking wrong with it.
And everything, and everything, and then like the phone got put back to me, and he was like, "Well, put her up in a room." I was like, "Are you paying?" He's like, "No." I was like, "I'm not doing that then."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, you can't kick her out on the streets." I was like, "This is your daughter,
Yeah.
your 15-year-old daughter who is skived school and travelled 90 miles
To go and see a fucking
to go
TV show.
stalk
being
the
filmed.
celebrities of The Only Way Is Essex." Maybe you should. I granted, I know it's 12:30 at night at this point on a fucking Wednesday.
Yeah.
But maybe you should do something about this.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, not doing anything. So I was like, right, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So I went to her, and by this point, she'd curled up on the sofa in the waiting area.
Oh, wow.
And I, like, prodded her awake. I was like, right, I'm not the heartless person that's going to kick you out.
Yeah.
We don't have, like, your dad refuses to pay for you to have a taxi or for a room. You are more than welcome to sleep on this sofa tonight, bearing in mind the night team will be hoovering and mopping the restaurant and everything.
Yeah.
So you probably will not get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
And she just went, whatever, and rolled over.
Fair.
And I then turned to the night team. I was like, you will do do not use this as an excuse
To not work.
to not work. And you could see they were going to. And they did,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But apparently, I was back in the next day. I was back in at 7 the next day. So, like, once again, once this all kicked off, I was like, I really do not have time for this.
Yeah.
I'm back in at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. I've got to go. Yeah.
Like, I've got a 40-minute drive home,
Yeah.
get to sleep, and then you wake up and another 40-minute drive back, and I was like, I don't have time for this. I was like, you do your work, ignore her.
Yeah.
Da-da-da. I got back there at 7 in the morning. She's gone. I was like, what's going on? Oh, she disappeared about 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Not your problem.
Oh, dear. We haven't done that in a while.
No, we haven't seen one for a while.
No. But yeah, I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
I was shocked that, she's managed to get out of London
Yeah.
with no money or anything.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And then the father's just done nothing. I can only assume the father's come and collected her at 2-3 in the morning.
Yeah, must have done.
He must have done. And just the whole,
Yeah.
the police or the ambulance will deal with it. I'm not dealing with it. My own daughter, I'm not dealing with it. I'm just like, oh my God. This is shocking. So, yeah. I'm right there with your brother. Solidarity.
Solidarity with the crazy people in the hotels.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Christ. Yeah,
Anyway.
But that was fun.
I
Right.
bet it was.
Should we talk films?
Let's talk films.
Should I go first, do that one? And then,
Yeah.
So I went to go see We Live in Time,
Mm-hmm.
the new film with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh.
Mm-hmm. I like Florence Pugh.
I am in love with Florence
Yeah,
Pugh.
of course you are.
She is also an incredibly good actress.
Yeah.
She's
That's
really
why I like her.
Yeah. That's why I like her too. And this was a really, really good film.
Mm-hmm.
Very emotional. It's a very powerful movie. There's obviously a lot of things have been going on about it. At first, it's a little bit trippy. This is a non-linear timeline to start.
Right.
So there's a lot of back and forth. And of course, like, with back and forth in, because it's only over a couple of years, it's like, they don't look different. There's like different haircuts. For Florence, she kind of has like a shorter haircut, longer haircut. So you have to kind of like get your head around that.
Yeah.
I'd say it was a 2-hour film. I'd say it's about the first 45 minutes and then it goes linear.
Right.
But other than that, like, it was really, really good. I was with like my missus, her brother and his missus.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I don't think there was a single dry eye in the cinema. It was a very emotional film. It was very powerful, really well acted. Florence Pugh, Andrew Garfield, man, he was great as well. It was a very difficult film to kind of watch if you're kind of used to, if you have a lot of those kind of themes going on in your life. Without giving too many spoilers. But yeah, I think it was definitely a very good film. I think you would have probably preferred watching this film. I think you would have enjoyed this film.
Okay, my question then becomes, do you think I would have cried at this film?
I don't. I think you might have got the old frog in the throat, maybe.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I do. There was also like a lot of laughs in this movie as well. There was several bits. It did the very was getting you laughing up in one scene, kind of making you feel good, and then doing the drop.
Yeah.
You know, and making it more powerful.
Yeah.
In that sense. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very, very good film. It's definitely worth a watch for people that might be thinking about it. And you know, as we always say, go to cinema, support it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would happily watch this movie again. Definitely worth seeing. Right, that's a quick overview of that, because obviously you haven't seen it.
And you don't want to go into spoilers.
And I don't want to go into spoilers too much. But with that being said, shall we talk about the movie we went to go see tonight?
So we have just been to see A Real Pain, starring Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran McCulkin.
Yeah. Written by
Jesse Eisenberg, directed by Jesse Eisenberg, starring Jesse Eisenberg,
produced by...
Write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. Yes. Shall I go first?
Yeah, you go.
Yes. So, A Real Pain, a comedy. It was not.
No.
It is not funny in the slightest. This is... cringe comedy is like Ricky Gervais's wheelhouse. That is what he's known for. That's what he's famous for.
Yeah.
That's what people love Ricky Gervais about. This is from, in the nicest way possible, Jesse Eisenberg going, I can do cringe comedy.
Yeah.
No, you can't. Like, well, I mean, I already struggle with cringe comedy. I don't tend to find it funny.
Yeah.
But this was even worse.
Yeah.
It was cringe comedy at its worst when it's really not done well.
Yeah.
Not only that, but what am I saying? Like, just...
It's literally a mind game. It's like, it made me like going, whoa.
Yeah. Okay, well acted for what they had to do and what they had to get through.
Do you think Kieran McCulkin's Golden Globe win is deserved of this film?
100% no, considering his Golden Globe win was in Best Supporting Actor for a Comedy.
Yeah.
And this was not a comedy. I think, basically, the Golden Globe people have looked at the comedies this year and gone, fuck, we haven't got a comedy.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can't really remember what, we've been to see a lot of films.
To be honest, I don't even remember what the nominations were for that, like all the other nominations.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like, I don't think there was any comedies this year, really. This year, 2024 was the year of the horror film, I would say. There was so many horror films.
There was a lot of that.
So many horror and thriller films. So maybe they just didn't have any comedy films to give the award to.
Yeah.
But no, it had some poignant moments because it was covering a very sort of deep, strong topic.
Yeah.
But that didn't, like, that even made it more distracting that it wasn't funny and wasn't a comedy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, to me, it also felt a bit like, I know you don't, like, I saw them more than you did, but you know, like those little independent British films?
Yeah.
Like, Scrapper, the one, Rye Lane, the one that Olivia Colman did with the baby. I can't remember what it's called now.
Oh, it was like Road Trip or something.
Road Trip, yeah. It felt like one of those films.
Yeah. Oh, no. He didn't, it wasn't in that category. It was just Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, right, okay.
So he was up against Denzel in Gladiator 2, Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, and Yura Bravo, I don't know who that is, and Lenora.
But half those films haven't come out in the UK yet, so we can't really judge. But yeah, I struggled with it. It was not funny. It was, like, yes, I laughed out of the pure, like, this is terrible kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to refer back to QI, and he talks about nah jokes, which are the little jokes you get in Christmas crackers, which are like purposely bad, and everyone's no kind of thing. It was very much that.
Yeah.
It was not funny, and I was laughing more because it was not funny, rather than it being funny.
Yeah, no.
I realise we're running out of time. I've got a lot more to say about how I disliked it, but we'll move on to you because we're running out of time.
That's right.
So
we can play off each other. This was a shit film.
I love how I try and be constructive and give like reasoned feedback.
It was a crap film. It was an hour and a half, and I looked at my watch thinking it was nearly over, and it had only been on for 45 minutes. Okay, it was a crap film. I laughed 3 times. I laughed more in We Live in Time. I laughed more in that film than I did this film, and that like the other one was like a romantic comedy drama.
Yeah,
and I laughed more in that than I did this. Don't get me wrong, like the serious beats and things like that, like Kieran and Jesse, their chemistry was good. Like I think they are both good actors in this. However, I just do not think this film was good. It's a classic thing of being mismarketed. It's not a comedy. Even if he said like it's a drama with. If
he described it as an indie drama,
like
I think we would have been better with it.
I would have been better with it because
your expectations would have been different.
I went in on the mindset like waiting to be in stitches, and it wasn't.
No.
Like I did not find this movie like funny. I literally laughed 3 times. I don't think it was for somebody who's like also been trying to make, because I saw him on Graham Norton 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Like, for somebody who's to say, like, he's been trying to get this movie made for years and things like that, and at one point he had a couple of directors attached and things like that, and then he's decided to direct it, just says to me that maybe he shouldn't have made the fucking film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also at the same time, that comes down on, like, the people in Hollywood not being truthful to him, saying, dude, this is not good. Give it up.
That's what I'm saying. Like he should have just given up.
Great, you've got a pet project, but the pet project needs to die.
Yeah. Take it to the vet and put it down. Man.
Yeah. I think the problem, the other big problem with it is because it's a specific scenario.
Yeah.
You need to have
it's very niche.
It's a niche scenario. You need to have the characters be in a. I'm trying to think of the right word for it, but basically, you want the viewers to be sitting there going, "I know that person. I know that person. I know that person."
It wasn't even that. There was like things that were referencing, and I was like, "I do not know what this is."
No. But what I'm saying is like because the premise of it is. Guy goes on a road trip with his cousin, who's a bit of a sort of a social dynamite kind of thing. Bit of sort of awkwardness, chaos ensues. That's a very rough sort of overlook.
Yeah.
You want people to sit there and look at the cousin and go, "Oh, I know that person. That's like my friend Steve."
Yeah.
But because the characters were so overly exaggerated, people can't relate to it.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there going, I'm supposed to be relating to this, and that's where it's going to make it funny, is being able to relate to it and be going, oh, I see that person, that's so-and-so I know back home.
Yeah.
But because it was so over-exaggerated, it didn't land.
Yeah, really
but the poignant moments landed.
Yeah, which is weird for a comedy film.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Final thoughts. Let's just get on.
The real pain was shit. We Live in Time was a good film.
Take some tissues, apparently.
Yeah. Not for that.
Much better lubes out there than KY Jelly.
Yes. If you're going to do a good deed, follow through on the good deed. Don't leave the half-naked drunk man in my fucking restaurant.
And if you work in any sort of workplace where the public can just freely walk in, be prepared for horrible things to happen, and you cannot escape.
Yeah.
Just be prepared for that.
It becomes your problem for that day.
Like, did I ever tell you about the time my mum hit a bird on the A14?
I think so.
So, for the listeners and viewers at home, mum hit a bird on the A14. Bird got stuck in the car grill. Pulled over to a petrol station. My mum asked, there was a man in the shop and the man working behind the counter. My mum said, "Oh, can one of you men come deal with this for me?" The customer ran out the shop, and then the man behind the counter was like, "I'm not allowed to leave the counter. Sorry, here's a carrier bag."
And she had to pull it.
And she had to put it out. But the customer, ran. He was like, "This is not my, not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm gone."
Yeah.
And then, thankfully, he had a get out clause of, "Sorry, I can't leave the building."
Yeah.
But if you have a place of work where the public can enter, be prepared for someone to come along and be like, "I need you to do this for me," and it's not in your work remit.
Yeah, no.
Just be prepared for that.
Yeah, that's definitely that. Yeah. But with that being said, have you seen this week's movies? Have you had any random stories like that? Have you had situations like that happen to you? Let us know down below. You can email us at sliceofriedgod@gmail.com. Should have really picked a different email. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and if you're listening to us on Spotify, give us a 5-star review. With that all being said, we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.